The Bodleian is now home to one of Britain's most prominent photographers' archive of work. Photographer Daniel Meadows took to the road in a double-decker bus in 1974 to take portraits of anyone who allowed him to. 20 years later, he returned to capture them once more. Now on display is a set of those 34 portrait photographs arranged in pairs, each depicting the same people, separated by an interval of 25 years.
Well, it's like stepping through the looking glass for me, to be quite honest. Oxford's very, the dreaming spires and, all of this plenty is magical for me, really magical in my old age. Because all these things that I did were all done on a shoestring and done, because I had a sort of passionate enthusiasm and interest for stuff, and a kind of insatiable curiosity. And now at last, this sort of recognition means that it's getting treated nicely, and that we're in a gallery that's buzzing, and lots of people are looking at the stuff. And I always said to these people, I'm going to put you in the history books. They said to me, why are you wanting to take our picture? I'm going to put you in the history books. This is documentary. It's about telling the story from the bottom up. And but it was a kind of fantasy. I'm going to put you in history books. But here we are. This is where history books get made. This is the Bodleian.
Daniel travelled far and wide to capture these portraits of people 20 years on. But why did he find this so fascinating?
Basically, the short answer is curiosity. 25 years after this picture, I was printing it for another exhibition, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I wonder what happened to those two. And, to cut a long story short, you can see by the pictures around the outside of the exhibition that I used local newspaper editorials, persuading local editors of local newspapers to help me try and find them. And, their mum grasped them up in the local rag.
His work was first being archived at the Library of Birmingham, but with major cuts to funding, the archive of his work was in doubt. But the Bodleian Libraries of the University of Oxford acquired the archive in March 2018. I
just feel very happy that this thing has happened and that I've lived long enough to see it happen. Because one of the big problems for people who work in the documentary tradition is that they're not really appreciated by major institutions. Like the Tate wants art and the V&A is a museum of the decorative arts, so what would it want to be doing with documentary? It doesn't really engage. And then, the National Portrait Gallery likes celebrity, which is fine, we all like celebrity, but, this work, where's it going to go? And there are loads of photographers like me who have their work, piled in boxes under the bed, who haven't had the luck that I had in meeting Pete James, first of all, and then in working with Richard Ovenden here at the Bodleian.
Daniel considers himself a documentary photographer and says he wanted to put these people in the history books. They're
ignored, and they're the people who make the country work. And because these people have got real stories, not the invented stories of celebrity. These people, when you sit, a big part of my work has been sitting listening to people. There are audio recordings in the archive as well as pictures, and the stories that come out of these pictures are extraordinary. But you have to learn to listen, and in learning to listen, you begin to honour people who maybe thought, well, I don't deserve to be a celebrity, I'm down there at the bottom of the pile. And what I'm saying is, let's forget about all of that big media stuff, and let's think about how our everyday lives are and what makes community work. And what makes community work is that we share things, and one of the things that gives us our identity is who we are as told through our stories, shaping our lives through narrative. And everyone's full of stories. If you just have to, I haven't always been successful, but you just have to kind of get in there, and then suddenly, ping, people are away telling you stuff.
The exhibition will be at the Blackwell Hall at the Western Library until the 24th of November. Rosemary Macklem, That's TV.